All right, so we're all here because we want to understand this AI battle, right?
Yeah, it's getting pretty
You
intense.
got Google, like the data king,
Yep.
right? And then you have OpenAI. They're like the software disruptors.
Mm-hmm.
And then NVIDIA, they're like the backbone, the hardware.
Cornerstone, yeah.
So who's gonna win this thing?
It's a tough question.
That's what we're gonna unpack in this deep dive.
Yeah, a lot going on.
Yeah. So let's start with Google, right?
Sure.
I mean, they've been in AI for a while
Oh,
now.
yeah, for a long time.
With DeepMind and projects like AlphaFold,
Yeah.
that protein folding thing,
Uh-huh.
that was huge,
It was a
right?
game changer.
I mean, like what kind of ripple effects are we seeing from that?
Well, I mean, it's hard to overstate the importance of AlphaFold
Yeah.
because it wasn't just about winning a game like AlphaGo.
Right.
It was about giving us the tools to understand the building blocks of life.
Wow.
I mean, we're already seeing the impact in drug discovery, disease research.
Okay. So it's like Google's playing they're playing the long game, it seems like, with AI.
Mm-hmm.
A little less flashy, consumer products,
Right.
more about this fundamental science.
Right.
But they're also developing their own AI chips, right?
Right.
Those TPUs.
Yes.
How does that fit into their strategy?
So TPUs are kind of like Google's secret weapon.
Okay.
They're specialized chips, right?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Specifically for their massive AI models.
Okay.
You can think of it like
Yeah.
Google's building a custom engine
No, okay.
for its AI, right?
Right.
While everybody else is relying on more like general purpose hardware.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not just competing on like algorithms.
Right.
They're competing on the infrastructure too.
Exactly.
But doesn't that create a kind of like a closed ecosystem? I mean, could that be limiting down the line?
Yeah, that's the trade-off, right?
Okay.
So TPUs, they give Google an edge in efficiency and performance,
Mm-hmm.
but it's a gamble on whether their approach will be flexible enough for the future of AI.
Okay. And then there's the data.
Oh, the data.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, Google has so much data
Tons of data.
from search, YouTube, and all their products.
Yeah.
I mean, how much of an advantage is that really in this whole AI race?
Well, it's a huge advantage
Yeah.
because data is like the fuel for AI,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
The more data, the more diverse data, the higher quality data,
Right.
the better you can train your models, right? So Google has, it's like giving an AI a much richer education
Okay.
than its competitors.
Okay. So, I mean, but Google's been pretty quiet, on the AI chatbot front. Like Bard came out way later than ChatGPT
Mm-hmm.
and hasn't had the same impact.
Mhm.
Why the slow start?
So, I mean, it's not necessarily a misstep.
Okay.
I mean, Google is known for being cautious,
Right.
especially when it comes to AI products to the public.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're very aware of the potential risks,
Right.
and they're probably taking a more measured approach.
Yeah. So maybe it's not about being first.
Right.
It's about building something sustainable and responsible.
Exactly.
But can they afford to be so careful in such a fast-moving field?
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
I mean, the AI landscape is changing so rapidly.
Right.
A cautious approach might mean missing out on some opportunities,
Yeah.
but it could also, prevent some costly mistakes,
That's true.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of wild how all of their, strengths and weaknesses,
Yeah.
they're all kind of tied together.
Yeah, like one company's strength could be
Exactly.
weakness, if things shift a little bit.
Exactly. I mean, NVIDIA's got this hold on the hardware,
Right.
but what happens if a new player comes in?
Right.
Or the supply chain gets messed up.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just about the tech, it's about all these other forces at play.
So, okay, let's put on our prognosticator hats here for a second.
Okay.
If you had to like bet today,
Yeah.
who do you think's gonna win this AI race?
Oh man, that's a really tough question.
Yeah.
I mean, Google's got like the data, the resources, the infrastructure.
Yeah.
I mean, they got all the pieces,
Yeah.
but they haven't really put it all together yet.
It's like they're a giant slowly turning
Yeah.
while these other companies are like speedboats zipping around.
That's a really good analogy.
Yeah.
I mean, their size, their corporate culture, it might be slowing them down.
Right. Yeah.
In this fast-paced world,
Yeah.
of generative AI.
But Google's not known for like giving up,
Well,
right?
no, they're not.
I mean, they have a history of like
We
adapting
always come back.
and figuring it out.
That's true.
Then you have, OpenAI,
Right.
the disruptor.
The disruptor.
They've made huge strides
Yeah.
with these language models.
Yep.
But they're reliant on Microsoft, right?
Yeah.
So that could be a double-edged sword.
It is. It's a gamble.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically betting that they can outsource
Yeah.
all the heavy lifting of infrastructure,
Right.
and that'll let them stay ahead
Right.
on the software side.
Yeah.
But it does mean they give up some control.
It limits their control in the long run.
Absolutely.
And it makes you wonder, what happens to their open source like ethos, right?
Right.
As they become more like commercially entangled with Microsoft.
It's a good question.
And then you got NVIDIA, like the quiet giant who's just become like indispensable.
Yeah.
They built this hardware empire.
Yeah.
But can they maintain that as the landscape shifts,
It all depends on whether, they can stay ahead of the curve on hardware development, right?
Right.
And they also got to be careful to not tick off the other companies that they're supplying.
It's not just about the chips. It's about that whole
It's about the ecosystem.
ecosystem that they built around the chips.
They've got to, nurture those relationships with the developers and the researchers. Make sure that NVIDIA is the platform for AI innovation.
So, okay, so we've analyzed the players.
Yeah.
We've looked at their strengths and weaknesses. We've even like tried to predict the future.
A little bit, yeah.
But what does all this mean for the average person? Like, why should someone outside of tech
That's a good question.
even care about who wins this thing?
Well, I mean, this isn't just a game for tech giants,
Right.
Like the outcome of this race is going to shape
Yeah.
the future of work, the future of healthcare, entertainment.
Right.
I mean, pretty much every aspect of our lives.
So we're talking like bigger than just bragging rights.
Way big.
In Silicon Valley, we're talking about like how AI is integrated into society, right? And what that means for our jobs, our relationships, our like sense of self, even.
For sure. I mean, AI, it has the potential to solve some of humanity's biggest problems.
Right.
But it also poses some serious risks.
Yeah. Right.
If it's not done responsibly.
So it's not just about like who wins. It's about how they win.
Exactly.
And what role do we, like the non-tech savvy people, what role do we play?
Well, we have a huge role to play.
Yeah.
And we need to stay informed about the potential benefits, but also the risks of AI.
Mm-hmm.
We need to, demand transparency and accountability from the companies that are developing these technologies.
But it's not just about like passively watching this.
No,
this
we got to be active participants.
We gotta be involved in shaping the future.
The future of AI,
Of AI.
We're all creating it together, whether we realize it or not.
Okay, let's get a little more a little more specific here.
Okay.
We've talked about AI in these broad strokes, right?
Sure.
But what are some like real world examples of how this is already impacting our lives?
Well, I mean, we're seeing it in healthcare, right?
Yeah.
With AI-powered diagnostic tools, personalized medicine. We're seeing it in transportation.
Yeah.
With self-driving cars.
Right.
We're even seeing it in the creative industries.
Yeah.
Like AI tools are being used to generate music, art.
Wow.
Even write stories.
It's almost like it's becoming a collaborator in our creative endeavors, which is it's fascinating, but it's also like a little unsettling, right?
A little bit.
I mean, what does this mean for human creativity, going forward?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's one that, artists, writers, musicians, they're grappling with right now.
Right.
Some people see AI as a threat.
Yeah.
Right. Other people see it as a new tool.
Yeah.
That can actually, push the boundaries of what's possible.
So is it gonna replace human creativity, or is it gonna like?
I think it's probably a bit of both.
Yeah.
AI can automate certain tasks,
right?
But it can also, inspire new ideas,
right?
And it can push, human creativity in unexpected directions.
So it's really up to us to figure out how to harness this in a way that benefits everybody.
If it's creators, consumers.
Yeah, it's a reminder that AI isn't just about like these cold, hard algorithms.
But it's about human expression.
Yeah, there's a human element to this.
Absolutely.
But let's be realistic, right?
Okay.
AI is not a magic wand that's gonna like fix all of our problems.
It's not.
I mean, there's limitations, right?
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, where is it still?
So one area where AI really struggles is in understanding and responding to human emotions.
Okay.
Like AI chatbots, they can hold conversations.
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
But they often lack, the empathy.
Yeah.
The emotional intelligence.
Right.
That's so essential for real human connection.
So they can write a poem or they can compose a song, but they don't
But they don't get it.
Yeah. They don't get the
They're missing the
human spark.
That human spark. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that AI is a tool. Right. It's not a replacement.
It's not a replacement for us.
So us, yeah. Like for human connection and understanding. It's like AI has this potential to both to enhance and to complicate our lives in ways that we can't even really
in ways we don't even fully understand yet,
grasp yet. Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to approach it with a balanced perspective. With a sense of both the potential and the limitations. Well, we've covered a lot in this deep dive, from the technical stuff to the big like societal stuff. But I feel like we've just scratched the surface.
Yeah, we've just begun
of this,
to explore the depths of this topic.
This whole AI thing is huge, and it's
still unfolding.
Yeah, it's evolving so rapidly.
So much more to learn and discover, and
so much more to discuss, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we'll definitely be revisiting this as things continue to change and evolve.
This conversation is just getting started.
We've talked about the companies and the tech and the impact AI is having on the world,
right?
But there's this other layer to this whole thing that I don't think we've really touched on.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, as AI gets more and more powerful, it really forces us to confront some pretty deep questions.
Yeah.
About what does it even mean to be human?
Yeah.
What is intelligence really?
Right.
And where do we draw the line between a tool and something more?
Yeah, it's like AI is forcing us to redefine like what we thought we knew about the crypto.
Like take consciousness, for example.
Right.
What happens if we create an AI that shows signs of real self-awareness?
Whoa.
Of feeling. Like do we owe it the same ethical considerations as a living being?
Man, that's getting into some like
deep stuff,
philosophical territory here. Right. I mean, we're still figuring out like animal rights. And now we got to worry about like robot rights.
I mean, it might sound far-fetched, but these are questions we can't ignore.
Right. Yeah.
The technology is moving so fast. We got to start thinking about this stuff now.
Okay, so we got like potential AI rights on the table. Right. What other like big picture questions?
I think one of the most important ones is jobs.
Yeah.
Right. Like automation.
Yeah.
Driven by AI, it could displace a lot of workers.
Right.
Like how do we prepare for that kind of societal shift?
Yeah, I mean that's the classic like robots are taking our jobs scenario.
Right.
But it feels more real now.
It does.
Than ever before.
It does.
Is it really as dire as some people say?
It's not just scaremongering. Like some jobs are inevitably going to be automated.
Right.
But new jobs will emerge,
right,
as well.
So it's not just about
the challenge is managing that transition.
Yeah.
Making sure that people have the skills
right.
and the support they need to adapt.
So it's not just like whether jobs are lost, it's how we as a society like handle that change.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive.
Right.
Thinking about things like retraining programs.
Yeah.
Maybe even like universal basic income
right.
as a safety net.
Right.
Like this isn't just an economic issue.
Right.
It's about social stability.
Yeah.
It's about human dignity.
It's like we need a whole new way of thinking about work.
I think so.
And purpose in the age of AI.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I mean, work provides more than just income.
Right.
It gives people, a sense of identity, a sense of contributing to something larger than themselves.
Yeah.
We have to find ways to preserve that.
Right.
Even as the nature of work changes.
Yeah, this whole conversation is making me realize like how much AI is really gonna like disrupt.
Going to be disruptive.
Everything.
But disruption isn't always a bad thing.
Right.
I mean, it creates opportunities.
Right.
AI has the potential to really improve our lives.
Right.
In countless ways.
Right. From personalized medicine to a cleaner environment. It's like we're standing on the edge of this new era that's full of possibility, but also uncertainty.
A lot of uncertainty. Yeah. And the choices we make now are really going to determine what that future looks like. It's not something that's just going to happen to us.
Right.
It's something that we're actively shaping.
So what can people do?
Right.
I mean, it feels like this is bigger than
it is a big issue, but
any one person.
That doesn't mean that individuals are powerless.
Right.
I mean, staying informed is crucial.
Right. Yeah.
Understanding, the potential and the risks of AI.
Yeah.
We need to demand transparency from these companies.
Yeah.
Hold them accountable.
So it's not just about being like tech savvy. It's about like being AI literate.
Exactly.
Yeah, and being engaged citizens in this new world.
In this new world, yeah.
Yeah, and ultimately, I mean, it's about making sure that AI is used to serve humanity and not the other way around.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, that it reflects like our values.
Our values, yeah.
Our ethics, our hopes for the future.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's a powerful
big topic
statement to end on.
Yeah.
I mean, this whole deep dive has been quite a journey. From the nuts and bolts of the tech to these big philosophical questions.
They're all connected.
Yeah, and I think it's just the beginning of a much larger conversation.
This is just a start.
That we all need to be a part of.
We all need to be talking about this.
So to our listeners, thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
Into the world of AI. It's a complex, rapidly changing landscape.
Yeah.
But by engaging with these issues, by asking these tough questions, we can all help shape the future of AI in a way that benefits all of humanity.
That's the goal.
Until next time.